Ladies and gentlemen, this is the drag race you've been waiting for. Friday night and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Join us at Midstate Dragway in Havana, Illinois for the Twisted Shifterz and 360 Steel Nitro Chaos Championship Finals. Presented by Morrow Brothers Ford. Outlaw nitro burning drag racing action like you've never seen before. Kids 13 and under are free and every ticket is a pit pass. Visit nitrochaos.com for more information. September 20th and 21st. Midstate Dragway in Havana. Be there.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chaos Live. We are coming right off of our championship finals for the Funny Car Chaos event. That means there's one more race left to go, and that is the Nitro Chaos Championship Finals. And you just saw that ad right there about the event coming up at Midstate Dragway. One of those must-do events that you need to go to, as we have really a great showdown coming up in Nitro Chaos. Pretty much just like we completed in Funny Car Chaos at the championship finals. And hey, it was the closest, tightest, most epic showdown for a championship. And it wound up with 4 points separating the top four in points. So you can't draw it up any better than that. I mean, if we had scripted it, it could not have been any better than it was. And we're going to recap some of the events from that event tonight. And we are going to talk with some of the winners, and including in that list of winners, a guy that came away with the big championship from the championship finals up there at Mo-Kan Dragway. It was an outstanding drag race. As you know, if you've been to Mo-Kan before, you know it's going to be a great race. And we had our share of challenges with Mother Nature. That seems to have been the watchword a little bit for 2024, with a few challenges here with the weather, but man, we got a great race done, and we will be talking with a couple of first-time winners tonight and our 2024 champion. So we're going to take a break right fast. We'll give you a chance to hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to hear from our first-time winner, Colin Thomas. So hang in there. Well, maybe I missed my cue on taking a break. Okay, so we won't take a break right this instant. Well, it gives me a chance to tell you just a little bit about that 59th annual Twisted Shifterz Labor Day Weekend Classic, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts and BA Bodies. I'm telling you, it was a very, very good event. The staff at Mo-Kan, they worked hard to make sure that the track prep was on point, and the numbers were outstanding, consistent. We had lots of 3-second runs. We had 3-second qualifiers all through the A field. It was full of 3-second cars, and it was down into the B field. We had several 3-second performances. Darren Foster and Dana and Tim loaded up the title sponsors for this event, and they went down there to Mo-Kan from Fulton, Illinois, and it's a pretty good hike. It's not exactly like something you'd run over for Sunday dinner, but they loaded up and came down, and boy, I know we're glad they made it, and I bet that they were too, after the racing was simply incredible. So thanks to them for doing that. Hey, and one of the things that we got a chance to do was live stream, and I've been chatting with some people at the race and afterward, and they were surely glad to have the live stream back. And of course, man, our great friends at Mile High Crankshaft were the ones that came on board as the live stream sponsor. So we really want to salute them and tell them thank you, because they made a lot of folks happy all across the country. And of course, the work that they do is legendary on crankshafts, and we're happy to have them as one of our supporting sponsors of the Funny Car Chaos Championship Tour. And so with them being able to present the live stream, that worked out really, really well. And all of you out there in Chaos Nation that I'm sure are and hoping are tuning in tonight for this show, we know that you were glad to be able to watch it on board. We had a lot of friends that we've made, letting everybody know how good it was to be able to be at Chaos, even though they couldn't be at CHAOS. So I know that we have got our first guest in the green room. We've got our second guest there already as well, but the interviews are coming up tonight as we will have first-time champion Colin Thomas, Twisted Sister, winning the C field. First-time champion, although he's been racing with us since 2018 back at Amarillo when he made his major label debut, so to speak. Mike Newerk going to be our second guest, and we'll close it out after those two interviews with our 2024 champion, closing the deal by a big whopping 1 point. And it was an epic showdown all season long. And I think we're going to go to a break right now. And right after that, we'll have Colin Thomas coming up for the interview. So, Lee, if you got a break ready, let's take it.
Check out Twisted Shifterz for the largest selection of made-in-the-USA custom shift knobs and adapters. Made for muscle cars, old and new, hot rods to race cars, and for the big rigs. With our original shift toppers adapter for the air shifters to use any threaded shift knob like the old days. Add custom lettering and logos to make it your own custom shift knob. TwistedShifters.com. We are made in America and we ship worldwide.
Larice Motorsports Insurance offers drag racers the broadest insurance policies in the industry. Larice Motorsports Insurance was created by racers for racers. Larice insures race cars on and off the track, trailers and equipment. Larice even pays racers contingencies at the fling bracket races. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Larice Motorsports Insurance today.
And we're back with tonight's episode of CHAOS Live, and we are very pleased to welcome Colin Thomas, who got his first win in his first season racing in Funny Car CHAOS competition. Hey, Colin, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to see that you have made it back, and we appreciate you taking the time to come on and let us love on you a little bit, because I tell you, you and Jennifer, how cool is it to be celebrating a 5th year anniversary with a few thousand of your closest friends and winning a drag race?
Yeah, it really couldn't have got any better than that. I dreamt about it going the way that it did, but I can't believe it actually happened that way.
Well, there were a lot of people that were in your corner and extremely happy. I mean, the video revealed one of the things that we got a chance to do was live stream this. And of course, seeing the response from your crew, and not only your crew, but a lot of other people, I know that had to be gratifying. And of course, you're at the other end of the racetrack, and Lee's waiting for you down there and sticks the microphone in your face. And I think it was pretty close down there at the finish line between you and Smokey. Take us through that final run.
I never saw him. I just was like, man, this thing's going to the finish line. I don't care what happens. We'd had trouble with hurting a rod bearing every run, so we had the heads off it every run, and putting a rod in it on number 7 every run. So I just said, it's going all the way down there. I don't care if it blows up in my face. It blows up in my face. But never saw him. Saw the wind light come on. I thought, holy cow! I can't believe we actually did it.
Man, it was outstanding. This is one of those things that a lot of folks wouldn't know, that you were having to do that between rounds, especially if they weren't there and going to check on you every round in the pits. But first round, the car ran 165 miles an hour. The second round, the car ran 176, almost 177 miles an hour. And then you aired it out in the final, 185 miles an hour through the top end. And it's just like all that work, just whatever you were doing, Colin, seemed to be really working.
Yeah, we were having trouble in the first 2 rounds, shaking real hard, right about 200 or 300 feet. And I was having to pedal it every time. And for that final, we did a little change with the big black thing hanging off the side of the motor there, and it went straight and no shaking. That's all it needed, is a little bit more oomph.
Yeah, well, it certainly liked it. as you went 420 the first round, 436 the second round, and then there's no cap, there's no index in the final round. All caps are off, but you went right on that 410, which is what the cap had been for your field. And man, you were lighting it up on the Christmas tree, as you definitely left first both. Well, it was in the semifinal. You left first, but it was only by a few thousandths because Alex was really dialed in, and you guys left simultaneously. You just happened to have enough horsepower to get around there.
Yeah, that was a fun race too.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. This is one of the things. You didn't just wake up one morning, or I don't guess you did, just wake up one morning and decide to run a nitro funny car. You probably thought about it for a while, but there's other ways that you can go racing without going full in nitro funny car. Take us through some of your history, and as Jennifer checks in, so happy still. Yeah, we're all happy for you guys, and look at that big smile on that guy. Man, a few words, but he certainly has a great smile. But tell us how you decided to go not only funny car racing, but nitro funny car racing.
Well, I grew up, in 2000, my family moved in next door to Jerry Green that ran back in the 80s, they ran a nitro funny car, and then they switched over to top alcohol racing, and they raced that up until he passed away in 2007. So I was part of that for about 7 years, just being next door to it. I walked by one day and saw the garage door open, and here I am, basically. After that, I helped a couple dragsters and alcohol dragsters. I always wanted to drive a funny car. Even when I was 16, 17, I was wanting to do it, and I ended up having to buy my own car to end up doing it. But finally, I found that car last year, middle of last year. We were able to learn the place in life where we were able to buy one, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, that is great. We have enjoyed watching this process. As you got the car, you came out, did a little testing there, last year, and making a few runs. But it did not take you long to find your way to a final round. As you wound up being in the final round of the opening race of the season here at the Texas Motorplex, at the biggest funny car race in the world. It's like, that you hear that thing about no fear, ain't scared, and all that kind of stuff. I think that fits for you guys, and because you bookended the season, a final round and a runner-up at the season opener, and then getting that win here at the last race of the season. I think there's a lot of excitement in Colorado. Here's one of those things that I'm not sure that people keep up with, but I do. There are 8 drivers from Colorado that have now won events at Funny Car Chaos events, and they've won a total of 15 races and 1 championship, and that places second in the number of championships and top 3 in the number of event wins and drivers. Texas has got 10 drivers that have won, and Oklahoma and Colorado both have 8. And so you joined some pretty rarefied air there, my friend. Congratulations.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's funny that before driving a nitro funny car, the fastest thing I ever drove was a 12-second diesel pickup truck in the quarter. So I went from that to what we're doing now. It's obviously not even close to the same thing. Stepping on the gas in one of these things is life-changing. But yeah, it's one of those things that if you want to do something, you go and do it. That's how I live my life, and that's what we do here. So.
Oh wow, that is so encouraging and such a great word. So you've got you and your wife obviously that do this. You've got some other people that help you. to make this happen? Who all's on the crew and helping you make this go?
Obviously, my wife and the two older girls we have, Piper and Autumn, are starting to get really good at clutch and cylinder heads and stuff. And, the little one, Bristol's doing her thing, whatever she's doing around the pits. And then we got James and Sean Stevens out of Nebraska, and their son, Nick Spiegel, that we kind of go back and forth. They run Alcohol Dragster and NHRA, so we try to help them as much as we can, and they help us as much as we can. Then the last couple of races, we've had David Stringer helping us out. He's real excited about running with us too, so can't thank him enough for coming out. And then we're always borrowing and begging from everybody. Clay Cunningham and company, they're always have someone helping us out. Even the Barkers in that second to final, or the semifinal, they came over to help us, get everything done for the final round, and can't thank them enough either. So that's pretty much the crew side. The other people that really help us out a lot is Nitro Club and V and Shaggy. I mean, they are awesome. Can't thank them. And then Mike Cavalieri has helped me a lot. Too. Tries to make it to where I don't blow it up too much. And, that's Dave and Felicia Olson at Mile High Cranks. I mean, this year absolutely would not have happened without them fixing my stuff. I mean, I bet I had 3 cranks there this year. I don't have that many cranks. So.
Yeah, it's not like that's 3 out of a dozen. It's
that's the 3.
3 out of not many more than 3. Well, boy, that team at Mile High Crankshafts, I mean, they have earned their reputation for doing incredible work. And man, we're so excited to have them on board, and have you running their stuff, and having Bill Bernard with the name on the side, and man, I know everybody in the country that's part of Chaos Nation really appreciates them for bringing that live stream, possible. And what about that? You get in the championship round, the final round of the Wolf Pump C field, and it's broadcast with Mile High Crankshaft right there on the screen. It doesn't hardly get much better than that, does it?
No, they're great people. Known them for a long time. Known them since I was 10 years old. So
yeah,
they're like family to me. So really appreciate what they're doing for everybody.
Well, that is definitely one of those things that we talk about a lot of time and allude to quite a bit is the family, both your blood kin, your married kin, and that extended family that goes far and wide. And you guys have certainly got those. Casey Giesland, get well, buddy. Casey Giesland's got on there. He said, "I love that shirt." So he was definitely noticing that, and that's probably probably his get well wish coming from us to Casey. Casey is recovering, and we're looking forward to them being back in the competition in 2025. So, yeah, you for the 2025 season, what are you thinking about that far ahead right now, or are you just savoring that victory right now?
What's funny is we had no plans of running for points this year. Going into Dallas, we just wanted to make runs and clean runs, and we just wanted to have fun. And then, the thing happened in Dallas, and the final round was completely my fault. I forgot to put it back in low gear after the burnout. So, and that was just because I was wound up and I forgot. So, but then we did good in the Odessa thing, and then we ended up doing good in Albuquerque, and all of a sudden you look at it, and we actually weren't going to go to Mo-Kan until a few guys that they know who they are. They kind of forced us to go. And, luckily they did. I mean, here we are. And we ended up getting number 10, which it wasn't even in the back of our minds. I mean,
yeah. Well, it's
to answer your question is, I guess we need to start trying to think a little more seriously about running every race if we can. It's not going to be possible to run every one. I know that already, but we're going to definitely do Dallas and Tulsa, no matter what. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And there's, the complete schedule for 2025 is not yet released. It's still in the works, and I can't say anything because I don't know anything. But I do know that there will be some shakeup in the schedule, and it will certainly be a lot of fun in 2025 wherever we happen to be going. That was great to see that announcement about Tulsa added to the schedule, and there's already some terrific events on the schedule. Well, man, I tell you what, it is a blast to have you on. I know that a lot of people have seen the Twisted Sister, and they've seen you guys. They don't get to see you. They do get to see Jenny, and as she's out there and front and center. But having the opportunity for Chaos Nation to some see your face for the very first time, and man, we're celebrating with you. We're so proud of the effort that you guys put in, and that it's paying some dividends. You got 2 final rounds in your first year, one of them a victory and finish in top 10. That gives you another reason to go to Tulsa, doesn't it, for that championship banquet?
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to go to that finally.
Well, it is a good time. It really is. And we'll look forward to celebrating with you there. Hey, is there anything else you want to add before we give the chance to head out?
Not really. Just thanks for what you guys are doing, and I appreciate a place to race, and we've made so many good friends, and I'm sure they're all watching and laughing at me because I can't talk that good, but thanks for everything. We love y'all. Well,
I tell you, I know that affection comes right back to you, and they were saying you were a man of few words, but I think you did a fantastic job. Proud of that effort in every way, and thanks for being on with us tonight. We look forward to seeing you at that championship banquet.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about Colin Thomas of the top 10 finish and a win in the Wolf Pump C field at our championship finals over at Mo-Kan Dragway? I'm telling you, we have got so many good things to talk about with so many great people running this series. And we have some terrific fans too. And I thank all of you for tuning in, and also for chipping in those comments down there. It's very much appreciated by those of us who are on the show, whether we're being interviewed or whether we're doing the interviewing. But thank you for your contributions, and we invite you to like and share. And of course, one of the things about the YouTube channel is that you get the opportunity to relive that championship finals event all winter long. During the off season, you need your drag racing fix. Lee Craft is coming up with some incredible content, and of course the live stream of the entire event, all those that we live streamed this year, and we certainly hope to be able to do more of that next year. But even if not, you've got the opportunity to view some great content. So we'll take another break. We've got another first-time winner, as Mike Newerk is in the green room, and it's always a good time to talk to Ricky Bobby or Jungle Mike, depending upon who you're talking to, is the different nicknames that he's got, and we'll stop with those. But right after this break, we're coming back with Mike Newerk. Hang in there.
McKinney Motorsports is your #1 source for all your chassis needs. McKinney Motorsports is the leading chassis parts supplier and fabricator in nitro drag racing. From custom tanks and fittings, full chassis builds, body mounts, steering components, fasteners, tabs, clamps, composite parts, and much more. Our household name in the racing world guarantees added performance on the track. Join our list of proven winners that spans over 50 years of racing experience.
Welcome back to Chaos Live, and we have got another first-time winner on board with us here. The wild and crazy guy from Great Bend, Kansas. He's been doing it for a long time and finally closed the deal. Welcome to Chaos Live.
Thank you. I enjoyed the B&J commercial there. That was pretty good.
It was. It definitely was. Well, you know, Mike Newerk is kind of the master of the unexpected. If you don't have to watch them very long to know that that they're always thinking about things to surprise and delight. And one of the reasons that you can tell that is how many Tesla funny cars have you ever seen? I've only seen one, and it's a blast, that silver slipper. Well, that is a beautiful race car, and it's a throwback, right?
Yeah, that's painted it's identical to the funny car I started with. My very first funny car was a 70 Cuda, and my dad actually sponsored it with his nightclub, the Silver Slipper. And I was pretty surprised when Trey came up and said that he wanted to paint it like my old car and put the Silver Slipper on it. He didn't want to put Girl Watcher like what mine had on it, but that worked. I mean, it turned out really nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's a looker, yeah, for sure, and it's a good running thing. I was looking at your performance in the first, second, third round, and especially the first and second round. Man, you were cooking, dude. 387 and 387, and just flying down that racetrack. As you guys have had your successes and you've had your little slip ups over the years, and everybody has that. And but now you've got that event win in that Alki Digger B field. So finally closing the deal. Okay, take us. You're in the final round. You're sitting there in the car, revs up because you go sky high on it, and then all of a sudden you see that your opponent is gone, and you know that you've won the deal. How does it feel?
It felt amazing. It felt amazing. I mean, I seen him take off, and there for a second I thought, I can't be this late. And I looked up and I'd seen the green light, and I went in and launched it, but then it shook real hard. I thought, oh, thank goodness he red lit that bag, because we shook so hard I think we broke something in the computer. So it felt good. It felt good. Felt good finally doing something that I've been waiting to do for 3-4 years.
Well, you
bridesmaid.
Yeah. So runner-up at the Motorplex in 22, runner-up twice, and then runner-up at Eddyville in 23, and finally getting this deal done at Mo-Kan. You know, the state of Kansas very well represented when it comes to event wins and drivers. You make now number 5 for the state of Kansas, and it's overdue. You've been right there knocking on the doors, often, and it's good to see you have a chance to close the deal. Lots of folks are chiming in and telling you how proud they are of you. You know, when you got up to the top end of the racetrack and you're talking with Lee, I heard him say, last time I talked to you, it was, not so good, but that interview, which I'm sure is going to be released in Conquerors of the Chaos, and may already have been, I don't know. But man, the excitement, the emotion that comes from finally winning, it's pretty special, isn't it?
It is. It was. I'm sure Lee's gonna have to edit some of the stuff I was saying, because it was. It was awesome. I mean, I kept looking back to see if my crew was coming up, because I know they was going to be as much as I was. It was all them. I mean, getting that car ready, and I mean, they busted their rears, and it was well worth it. It was well worth it.
Well, you've got a great crew, and it's family, and it's friends, and it's a good group of people. We've already mentioned, Colin mentioned James, that runs the same type of engine that you do, that Minor Brothers horsepower. Say again.
A lot of James's parts is what I buy a lot of parts from James to keep going. Yeah.
Well, we've gotten acquainted with them from all the years running in Kearney, and that combination you wound up with David. You wound up with David Hill in the semifinals, and you're both running that type of combination. And I mean, it was the side-by-side 3-second performances, and I'm telling you what, you guys are really onto something.
Thanks. This car is not quite reacting as much as my car was, but it'll get there. We're just having a little more difficult with it, but it's getting there.
Yeah. You talked about Trey making the tuning calls and how gratifying it is as a dad to see your son grabbing on and learning like that. How do you feel about that? And tell us a little bit about that journey.
Oh, very proud. I can't be more proud than it's crazy to sit there and watch him look at the computer and just think what he's going to do. And then, and then he'll call James, and James will say, what are you going to do? And Trey will pretty much tell him. And usually James will say, yeah, you're right on. Or James will say, well, you might try this, but it's up to you. But yeah, I mean, he just the way he does. And then to watch him drive in Kearney, he's a chip off the old block.
Yeah. Well, that is exciting. I got to tell you, man, that trophy over your shoulder looks really, really good.
Which one?
Well, both of them, but especially the one with the flags.
Yeah, I like the one with the flags best.
Well, okay, so now we are into the looking forward time of the year, and you've got funny cars in the house. You've got, the last Top Gas dragster in the house. You've got all kinds of last Top Gas champion dragster in the house, and what's coming up in the Newerk racing world.
A lot of work. I am going to try to get the twin back out next year, so we're going to do some stuff to it. Try to get my car done so I can give Trey his car back, and then maybe he can get the other motor together and get that way. We got both cars ready to go when each one of us wants to go, or if we ever seem to have enough crew to go, we can take both. Just no way to take two cars with the skeleton team we got. I mean, the guys we had last race, two of them were new. And two other guys couldn't make it back out, or three. And honestly, they did awesome. You couldn't tell they weren't doing it forever.
Well, that's pretty great. You seem to have a pretty decent training program going there by just saying, here's what we do, and here's what I need you to do. And you're able to convey that message and have good results.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So your family business is kind of what funds this whole deal. Is that right?
Yeah, most of it. My dad started our salvage yard when I was 1, and I've been there my whole life. He passed away about 8 years ago, and I just kept going. I mean, we also get help from Levick Plastics, Bobby Knight. He throws in a lot of stuff, and we'll go to the PRI show and see something like, well, that's cool. And the next thing I know, it comes in the mail, and I'm like, cool. So got to call Bobby and say, thanks, Bobby. We got some friends in Hayes that has a rod shop. They have he does a lot of chassis stuff, and he does all my electrical stuff. I mean, he's real particular on everything, and I'll just call him up, take the car up. Sometimes I just drop the car off, and without calling him. Sometimes that's not good. And then you got James, the former truck and trailer. I mean, it's all them, not possible without it. So,
yeah, well, that is terrific. We will have some. We have already announced a new track on the schedule for 2025. Yeah, have you raced there before?
I have. I've raced there a couple times, and actually, I think one of the first races I took my son to in his Altered was Tulsa. It was just me and him. I mean, he had a little blown big block Chevrolet Altered, and we looked at him one day, and I think he was just out of college. He might have still been in college. And I said, how about going to Tulsa and racing? Who all going? I said, just me and you. So we went up there and raced, and he did really good. I think he got like semifinals, so it was good. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's even better when you go rounds, isn't it?
Yep. Oh yeah. Life's better when you go rounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been there once, and I got a chance to announce the Nitro Nationals in 2017, and boy, we had a great time. That was the year, it was Ladies' Day. You had the Nitro Kitty win Top Fuel, and you had Tara Graves win Funny Car in John Hale's Nitro car that he had at the time, the One Bad Texan. And so, boy, that was a blast. And of course, that track has got such great heritage. We were really looking forward to adding a little chaos to Tulsa Raceway Park. And I know that a lot of the racers feel the same way. It's like that's always seemed like a natural place to go. So, hopefully we'll have a big turnout and a successful event there. And I see no reason that we shouldn't have that happen. Well, man, it's great to see you again, and it's great to see you with that winner's trophy added to the shelf. It's been a good while coming.
Yep.
I always tell people about you that when we first got acquainted was Amarillo, first time you raced Chaos, and I was riding around on a golf cart with somebody, and I saw you, and I was like, man, and we hit it off right quick, because you came out and did that full track burnout. It's like announced your presence really quickly.
Now Trey don't let me do them that much.
Huh?
That's the only place that went wrong. Trey don't let me do them very much now.
Yeah, I'm trying to put that throttle stop on there and keep you from going crazy. Huh? Well, man, anything else you'd like to add?
No, just thanks to everybody. I mean, Chris and Tara, like ours, B&J Transmission, Star Racer Belts, Alky Digger, Brodeck, Fred, Spell, Ed Wolf. Without them guys, none of this would happen. It's awesome. I do want to bring awareness to the Sully Foundation we brought on the car the last race. It's a real close deal to Trey. There's a friend of his that passed away back in 2018 from SODEP. It brings awareness to epilepsy, kids with epilepsy, and helps them get monitors and stuff for the kids and stuff. So really good foundation. Check that out.
I'm so glad you brought that up. We talked about it, it's on the live stream, and I talked about it at the race, and I wrote it down to talk about, but I forgot to. So the Sully's Foundation, making folks aware of something. I didn't even have an idea of the sudden unexpected death through epilepsy. So the Sully's Foundation, and is there a website?
On their Facebook page, they have a deal. I don't think they got .com, but it was the Sully Foundation on there, and they got PayPal and Venmo and stuff, and I just did some stuff on PayPal. So yeah, it's a really good deal. I mean, he's a really good kid. I mean, like Trey said, you couldn't go anywhere that he wouldn't make you laugh. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for carrying that banner for them, and I know that there's a lot of people, myself included, that were not aware of this, and so you guys are doing a good job of increasing awareness for that.
Thank you.
So, and again, I appreciate you taking the time to come on, and congratulations on that first victory, the first of probably many.
I hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. You've got Mike Newerk, Ricky Bobby, the Talladega Mike. He is sporting that brand new winner's trophy from Funny Car Chaos, and happy to have him on here tonight. So Darren's going to take us to break, and we'll come back with our final guest for tonight's show on Chaos Live. We'll be right back.
Larice Motorsports Insurance offers drag racers the broadest insurance policies in the industry. Larice Motorsports Insurance was created by racers for racers. Larice insures race cars on and off the track, trailers and equipment. Larice even pays racers contingencies at the fling bracket races. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Larice Motorsports Insurance today.
Welcome back to Chaos Live as we are celebrating the new event winners and the 2024 champion in the world of funny car chaos racing. And we just had a chance to talk with Mike Newerk, who got the Alky Digger B field win, and Colin Thomas, who got the Wolf Pump C field win. And we are looking forward to talking with our 2024 champion, Fastlane Shane Lawson, as they were able to get that championship in what was absolutely the closest championship race in the history of the Funny Car Chaos Championship Tour. And so while we're waiting to get Shane on, I want to say a word of thanks to some people that come to the races for us on occasion, and it always makes for a better show. And I'm telling you, if you have never seen the Dirty South Gassers before, you just don't know what you're missing. Those of us who have seen Dirty South Gassers many, many times, it never gets old. It's always great. And so I want to send a shout out to Chantel Nation, who makes it easier for everybody when that group gets together. You know, it's a race kind of breaks out as their party's going on. But they bring an incredible show to Funny Car Chaos events. And so Dirty South Gassers with their fellow organization down the Southern Outlaw Gassers, and there's several other organizations that these gasser racers represent. Man, what a great show, and what a lot of fun it is to have them at one of our events. So it was great to have them there. And also, we want to remind everybody for sure to go to the Funny Car Chaos YouTube channel. It's like it, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that you find out when Lee Craft is putting all this extra great content on there, the Conquerors of the Chaos and the recaps that will be done. And of course, we do still have the one more race left on the schedule. That's the Nitro Chaos Championship Finals, as we make our return to what used to be called Central Illinois Dragway when we were there before. And it's gone back to its original name, Mid-State Dragway. It's in Havana, Illinois. That was the very first Chaos in the cornfield, because it was actually the fourth race that we ever had in Funny Car Chaos. We had North Star that first year, went to Mo-Kan, went to Amarillo, went to Havana, and then came back to North Star in that 2018 season. But some of the racers that you have become very familiar with running in Funny Car Chaos competition, their first experience with Funny Car Chaos was at Havana at Mid-State Dragway. And man, we are excited to be going back there. A great racetrack. And that's coming up, of course, September 20th and the 21st. And we've got a tight points chase in the championship finals for Nitro Chaos, DMP Awnings, and McKinney Motorsports bringing us that incredible series. And so we are looking forward to the champ coming on up here in just a moment. We've got a little technical issue with him getting on, but as soon as we get that worked out, we'll be sharing a little 2024 championship conversation with Fastlane Shane Lawson. And boy, it was a big victory, and it was so close. I've seen some close points battles in all the years of racing that I've covered, and but when you have the top four separated by only 4 points, that's pretty amazing. Now, the championship banquet coming up at Tulsa at the casino, the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel. First of all, last year's event was really a lot of fun. It was a great time and a real blast. and it's going to be bigger and better this year with the CATS seminar taking place in conjunction with it in the same place. It's going to be right there at the hotel coming up on the Friday before the banquet on Saturday. And of course, all of this information will be available on funnycarchaos.com as well as on our social media outlets. So we'll keep you posted on all those events, but don't forget that, and put it on your calendar, put it on your schedule, because it's going to be a terrific time celebrating the top 10 in both Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos. And, we'll have the great meal. We'll have the time of fellowship, the photographs, the door prizes, all those things that you've come to expect. And who knows, there might even be a few surprises that are unveiled. It seems like Chris and Tara Graves are really good at making things extra special. And we're certainly counting on that. So anyway, let's take a momentary break and let you hear from some of our sponsors. When we come back, hopefully we'll have our champion, Fast Lane Shane.
Driven Racing Oil's GP1 Nitro 70. Trusted by top engine builders, winning racers, and devoted horsepower enthusiasts across the world. Driven takes legendary base oils, such as the ones from Brantford, Pennsylvania, which comprise our GP1 line. Then, we boost that superior base oil with state-of-the-art additive packages. Driven's GP1 Nitro 70 not only provides anti-wear protection, but can shield cylinders from washout and fuel dilution caused by methanol or nitro-based fuel. Learn more about Driven Racing Oil by following us on Facebook or Instagram at Driven Racing Oil, or shop now at drivenracingoil.com.
Taylor Motorsports Products is your first stop for quality safety equipment for your car or your driver. All of our safety equipment products are made in our facility in Albany, Oregon. From custom fit fire suits to racing seat belts, supercharger restraints, engine diapers, transmission blankets, and many other must-have items. Our racing history runs deep. We are racers building the finest safety equipment for racers. And we're a proud supporter of the Chaos. Taylor Motorsports Products is your first stop for quality safety equipment for your car or your driver. All of our safety equipment products are made in our facility in Albany, Oregon. From custom fit fire suits to racing seat belts, supercharger restraints, engine diapers, transmission blankets, and many other must-have items. Our racing history runs deep. We are racers building the finest safety equipment for racers. And we're a proud supporter of the Chaos.
Hey, we're back, and we have got our next segment coming up. Not sure we have Shane yet or not, but we do have a few more things to talk about. One of those spectacular new additions, and we talked about that a minute ago, all kinds of new things taking place and being introduced. You know, Wayne Hoffman had an extraordinary season, right in there, coming into the race and top 2 in points, and had a great experience through the 2024 season. And he and his company, Hoffman Masonry and Evergreen Lawn Care, and of course our old friend Fred Spell Paving Services, got together and put together what was called the Great 8 Shootout. And we ran that there at the championship finals. And it was just really, really spectacular to be able to bring that to the fans, and both in person and on the live stream. But, you know, throughout the season, keeping up with who qualified where and keeping up with those points, because, you know, those who win the championship in Funny Car Chaos, they really understand that how you qualify has a lot to do with how you finish in the championship points chase. And so keeping up with those points, as the drivers all do, and you heard Wayne Hoffman talking about that as we were interviewing him about having figured it out every 9 ways to Sunday to how many different scenarios could play out. And so keeping track of those points as who qualified the best, we wound up with the top 8 who qualified the best through the season, and that wound up being Kirk Williams, Wayne Hoffman, Chris Schneider, Shane Lawson, Jade Cook, Bill Bernard, Chuck Lofton, and Jordan Ballou. And so coming together with that, we did it. The decision was made to do it by chip draw as to random pairings in the first round of the Great 8 Shootout. Now, there was extra money on the line, and $2,000 to win, $1,000 to runner-up, $750 if you made it to the second round and didn't go past it. And if you didn't make it past the first round of it, it's $375. So it was an extra cash incentive. It was run at the same time as qualifications. So the chip draw was done, and those pairs were saved until the very end of the qualifying sessions. Now, what made it interesting is that Mother Nature prevented us from having any qualifying on Friday. So we had 2 rounds of qualifying on Saturday. So where are you going to put that third one? Well, you just kind of have to trust sometimes and figure that it's going to work out. And it actually did work out rather well, as the finalists in the Great 8 Shootout wound up being Shane Lawson and Chuck Lofton. Well, they happened to be paired in the semifinal round of the Rodak Custom Coffee A field. So, a race within a race within a race, so to speak, as they squared off there, and Shane Lawson did manage to get the win in that pairing there, as he got the win in the semifinal with a 378 at 199 miles an hour, and put that $2,000 in the old pocket, and got the winner's trophy for the first ever Great 8 Shootout. So again, Wayne Hoffman, thanks so much for your creative mind and your support with your presence and with your financial support to Fred Spell and Spell Paving Services, and to Evergreen Lawn Care, kicking in to make this an extra added attraction for the championship finals at Funny Car Chaos. It was well received. It was a hit, and perhaps we'll be able to do that again next year, and we certainly hope so. So the Great 8 Shootout was one of the added attractions for that championship finals, and good racing. I mean, it was simply excellent. Added a little drama right there. There's a certain mindset going into qualifying at a Funny Car Chaos event. You want to make sure that you get yourself where you would like to be. Now, it adds a little wrinkle to it when you actually got somebody in the other lane, which you normally do. But when it matters, if you win or if you don't, that added little bit of drama is certainly something that that makes it more interesting. Both if you're sitting behind the butterflies in the race car, if you're on the crew, or if you're some of us that are talking about it or just watching it. And so it was a great addition to the 2024 Championship Tour in Funny Car Chaos. And so we are hoping that might be something that comes back in 2025, and it certainly was a good addition to everything this year. Well, we are looking forward to the chance to talk with Shane Lawson, and if that happens tonight, great. And if it doesn't, guess what? There'll be another Chaos Live sometime. But for whatever reason, we're unable to get him on this program right now. And I know we're still trying, but here in a little bit, we will obviously have to give it up for tonight. So if he comes on, we'll have a chance to do that full interview, and we will do that. And if not, then we will reschedule that for another time. But man, what a blast to celebrate with these event winners that crossed the finish line first in their final round of the B field and the C field. And to know that there are so many people cheering them on and rooting for them. It was the 55th time there's been a Funny Car Chaos race. It was the 53rd time that there's been results. What? Well, you remember Penwell and Kearney this year did not finish. Kearney, the exhibition race this year, and Penwell, the points race, but we did not get to finish it. So we've started a race 55 times. It would have been the 56th race, except we never even got to start Eddyville Chaos, second annual Chaos in the cornfield. So we've got 55 races under our belt in the history of Funny Car Chaos, and we are looking forward to announcing the schedule, the full schedule for 2025. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of things in the works, and there's a lot of racetracks calling. And the question becomes, how do you fit all these things in, and what's going to work best for the tracks, for the promoters, for Chaos, and for our racers. And what works best for our racers is of primary consideration. We have a great schedule lined up already, part of it, and the rest of it is coming up soon. Hey, what we want to do right now, in case we can't get Shane on, we're going to go ahead and talk about his results there in the final, and in the final race of the season. And so, Darren, if you want to bring that up, we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Fast Lane Shane Lawson winds up as the 2024 Funny Car Chaos champion in the Man of War 2 Mustang, and that team that is certainly anchored partly by the Singleton family, the High Risk Performance Group, and of course you can see that they are well represented with a lot of friends and family and supporters and crew members. And it seems like a lot of folks put on that Man of War shirt when it's time to go to the winter circle and celebrate. And there's a lot of people extremely happy about what they were able to accomplish. So the A field first round, it was the second time of the weekend that Fast Lane Shane and 2022 champion Kirk Williams had squared off. They raced by chip draw, they raced in the grade 8 shootout. And Kirk Williams turned on the red light, so that put Shane into the next round of the grade 8 shootout. Well, as the pairings come down on the qualifications for the Rodak A field, Shane and Kirk wind up squaring off in the first round. And I don't know that any of us have ever seen Kirk Williams go red twice in the same day, but it happened, and both times against the Man of War Mustang. So the 386 at 200.71 miles an hour, Ken Singleton had dialed up that mile per hour for a great run, knowing that they were really going to have to put up a big number to have any chance of taking out Kirk Williams. It wound up being over early with the red light on the starting line in Kirk's lane. But and talking with Kirk, that car was on a pass. It was really a good run that it was on. He got out of the throttle and didn't finish it as strong. But anyway, the semifinal round, he was racing Chuck Lofton, and that was the dual purpose, get to the final round. And if you win that, if you win, you get to the final round. And if you win, you win the grade 8 shootout. So he was taking on Chuck Lofton in that run. This time ran a 378 at 199 miles an hour. Goes to the final round where he's got the Rolling Thunder Camaro out of Iowa of Lance Van Allen. And in a simply amazing drag race in that Rodak A field final round, Lance got the win by 48 ten-thousandths of a second on a hole shot, actually. He ran a 381 and Shane ran a 379, and it was just that close at the finish line, 48 10,000ths of a second. So Shane finishes runner-up, but with that point total, winds up having one more point than Kirk Williams does. Williams finishes second in the championship chase for the third time, and Shane gets his first ever championship. So we are celebrating the fact that we have a new champion, our fourth champion in the history of Funny Car Chaos. We've had 6 championship seasons. Ken Singleton won the championship the first 3, and I know that he played a very important role in this first championship for Shane Lawson, as he was making the tuning calls and is the primary tuning consultant for the Man of War 2 team. But anyway, so they are celebrating victory as well. But I'm telling you, with the top 10 being a great group of racers, with the top 4 being separated by 4 points, and it's just one of those things that you look at it and you go, this was an incredible championship season. We're happy to have all of you as a part of it in Chaos Nation. And now I think we've got the opportunity, I believe, that we've got Shane Lawson coming on. So we will take a quick break and come right back with Shane Lawson.
Spell Paving Services provides professional customer service and performance for your next industrial or large-scale private paving project. From parking lots, roads, and driveways to seal coat, chip seal, concrete, and asphalt, there's no job too big for the team at Spell Paving Services. Serving a 500-mile radius from Dallas-Fort Worth, Spell Paving Services has you covered. Call 214-384-3056 to get a competitive quote today and tell them the Chaos sent you.
Fast Lane Shane Lawson, 2024 Funny Car Chaos champion. Do you feel like you can breathe now?
I do. It's pretty stressful, I'm not going to lie to you. It was definitely stressful, but I knew we had a long road ahead of us, but we pulled it off.
Yeah, you did. Now, that race within a race with the grade 8 shootout and it being so tight coming into the championship finals, I think stressful is probably a good way to look at it, but I've never sat in your seat, and so that was a lot on the mind of you and Bonnie and your family and your crew, but you got it done.
We did. Ken, he pulled the trailer around 2:00 on Friday, and he had a little powwow with us and basically told us he had been there and it is doable, but we got to stick to what we know and stick to what's to this point so far. So, he said we just got to keep our nose down to the grind and do what we know how to do. And if it's supposed to be our time, the cards will fall and things will work out. And it's like Kirk said previously last week, and Ken said the same thing. We have to go rounds, and we can make it happen. And we that's exactly what we did.
Yeah. Now, you are no stranger to championship chases, as in your previous racing career, you were right in the thick of the battle for a championship and Top Alcohol Dragster once upon a time, right?
Yeah, actually, so when I drove Randy, we actually split seat, and I could have we weren't actually for the championship, but we could have finished both in the top 5 in the same car. If I could have made 2 more races and went to the second round of both those, I could have finished top 5 nationally in Alcohol Dragster and Randy in the same car in the same year. And so I tried to get that done, but just at that time I ran out of money and couldn't get it done. But I tried, but even at that was an accomplishment itself, and I'm stressful too. I won I think 3 or 4 out of 6 there. So it was, my odds were good, but I didn't get to obviously finish the deal. But this finishing the deal is actually a huge accomplishment, and I'm not sure that's even really set in yet. But it does feel good to know that we did get it done, and see, we're already getting prepped and ready for next year to try to defend this deal.
Well, that's kind of how it goes. You know, you don't have long to savor the championship, but you will have a full year to, to be celebrated as the champion. Is you're gonna be the guy until you repeat or and somebody takes it away from you. But and which it will certainly be a heck of a run in 2025. But so you guys bought the Man of War funny car, the previous car, and came funny car racing a few years ago. And so the journey has had its ups and downs. So take us through a little bit of that and how those things led you to persevere and finally close the deal.
So we started in 2020. That's when we came out. We didn't Mo-Kan. I think it was Mo-Kan in San Antonio, 20, and then we made some changes over the winter, and then we came out for 21. We ran that full season. I think I finished 10th, I believe. And then 22 wasn't such a good year. We dropped rough in Ennis. We blew it up real bad. Tore up a bunch of stuff, so we missed a few races. And then I go to Lufkin, and things just throwing blower belts off of it left and right. And that's when Morgan went to Ken after his accident and said, "Hey, they're struggling." That's when he called me. He's like, "I want to help you." I was like, "Absolutely." And so he helped me the rest of that year. And then over the winter, I said, "What's going to take to win a championship?" And he told me what it would take to win a championship. So we got hard heads, and so we just made upgrades every. And at this point, I feel like, I mean, there's a few more we're going to do this winter, but I feel like all this upgrades we made helped make the big stride. Not a big asset to the program, because I can make it run decent.
All right.
Run the car.
All right. Yeah, we that 2022, that final race at Texas Motorplex, you guys came in there, you did the job in the Alky Digger B field, and that was a big win. You had to be feeling like things were turning around for you. And of course, the 2023 season didn't actually wind up being a championship season, but you had to be feeling like you were definitely on the right track, and coming through with a third place finish in 2023. You've had to feel like you were set up pretty good going into 24.
Absolutely, especially after the 22 season. I say it started off rough. It was pretty rough through the season. Then he got his line back out and got us on the right track and got the win. So going to that winter was a huge positive note, which was because even I was getting a little bit down about it. The guys were getting down about it. So when we come in with that last win in 23, it was a huge stride. And of course, at first they were like, "What are you doing? Getting a new car? You're getting this, you're getting that." And it's like, guys, it's long term. We got a picture, and obviously it prevailed last year. Did finish third. Of course we had to figure the car out and things like that to make it do what he wanted it to do. But he got it there. Of course, we did make some more changes, and it was a little bit like that again. But it was very promising, especially after last year of finishing third and running some good numbers and being in the low 50s, high 60s. So then we're on the right track, and we got just as good a shot as anybody.
Yeah. You guys have great visibility. You've got a beautiful car. You've got the backup girl and junior dragster and the whole junior backup girl and your son, and you got the whole family involved. What's it like with the exposure that is out there? You have people walking up to you all the time going, "Hey man, you're fast lane Shane."
I mean, it's definitely different. It's not something you can really prepare yourself for. Obviously, Bonnie gets a lot of attention on what she does. And even Pamela, because she's starting to do very well. And it's just, we have been known for that kind of, getting known for that kind of stuff. And then obviously winning the championship. Like I had people at the race at the end of the day, they come up to me and say, "Hey, champ," and it's like it's hard to understand. kind of hard to grasp that because it's not something you get called every day. But I mean, I will say it is an honor to be called that. And like Mike said tonight at the shop, he was like, well, I actually have to call you junior since you're going to be the junior champ since the Singleton's still got quite a few on you. But hopefully one of these days I can catch him and get 9 of them. My the driver, but then we'll see if I get 9, he'll have way more than that. But it'll be hard to overcome to be that guy. But it's definitely an honor to have that title.
Oh yeah, well, it's certainly been something that you've been working for. You know, like you said, since 2020 when you got the funny car and came out, and it's been a journey. And you know, they always talk about that overnight sensation, like it just happened. You know, just you came out and snapped your finger and it happened. Well, no, you've definitely got a different story than that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, started racing back when I was 17 in Super Comp and been doing it ever since. And it's honestly, it's very hard to win a championship, you know, and it takes everybody involved from sponsors to crew guys to crew. You know, my wife supports me, my kids support me. It takes all that, and if you disrupt any of that, it'll mess up your whole program. You know, I mean, I got some of the best sponsors you could ask for. You know, like I say, my wife always supports me. She supported me 100%. You know, my dad. It's as a whole, and it doesn't matter what their part is. It takes everybody to complete the circuit, and everybody completed the circuit this year.
Yeah, they certainly did complete the circuit. That's a good way of putting it. You've got some great sponsors. You've got Chris Bozeman is chiming in. Go ahead, champ. And I know that is somebody that has helped you guys along the way. You've got a long list of sponsors, and of course, I suspect that you're going to have a pretty good delegation at Hard Rock Casino and Hotel for that championship banquet coming up soon.
I was already told I get 15 minutes. They told me, all my people told me, they said, Lawson, you get 15 minutes, and that's all you get. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I can squeeze it all in there, but you know, like say from the Bozeman's to Hodge to NGK to CP, Bates, Ultimate Retreat Bulls. I mean, there's a whole list of them. You know, Pie Royal, CP. I mean, there's just everybody counts. You know, and it's obviously I do have a big list. You know, not everything's money. I mean, some things are parts, things are discounts, but it all plays a big part of being able to run as hard as we run and do what we do. Because if, you know, at the end of the day, if I didn't have all that, I couldn't afford to keep going at the rate I'm going without those people's help.
There's a great racing community in the world of Funny Car Chaos. You've got friends, you've got people that are supporters, you've got folks that will help you with anything that you need, and you guys kind of fall into that same category as well, as you're generous with your support of other people. And you know, that's got to be one of those things that really makes you glad that you've chosen to be a part of this.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, if somebody needs something and I got it, they're more than welcome to it. You know, as long as they can either replace it or bring it back or whatever, or if it's major parts or whatever, you know, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Everybody's a big family out there. We're out there to have fun. And like Kirk said in my pit the other night, he said, at the end of the day, you're here with your family, you're racing with your family, and you're having a good time. You know, like all my sponsors and stuff, they're all like family, especially like the Bozeman's and Hodge and Ultimate Retreat Pool, Ronnie. You know, they're all family, and it's just, and when you go do stuff, it just draws you in closer. And so it's even more special when you do win something like this.
So you mentioned that you're not even sure it's soaked in yet. Is it soaking in a little bit more, getting a chance to visit with the people on Chaos Live and reflect on it a little bit?
It is, you know, and it's like they called me today for the Drag Illustrated magazine, you know, and so it's starting to finally come to. But I'll be honest, Saturday night it was just like, you know, it hadn't really settled in. So when I got tattooed on a hole shot. It was just like, man, I gave it up. And I was pretty upset about it. But everybody's like, dude, you just won the freaking championship and you won the shootout. I'm like, yeah, but I would have liked the thing. But I mean, I'm not talking about taking nothing away from Lance or anything like that, by no means, because he's a good racer as well. But yeah, at first I was just more upset about that than I was. And they're like, dude, you just won a championship. Like, chill out, So, but now that everything's settled down, it is a good feeling. It's starting to absorb, and and now I feel like it's more of a target on our back, which, hey, so be it, but it is an excellent feeling. I've been racing since 2000 and basically 1999, and it took this long.
Well, it's we celebrate with you. And you know what? If you won it all with winning the shootout, winning the race, and winning the championship, it's like, okay, you did the whole deal. Well, you didn't quite complete that deal, so that gives you something else to go for in 2025, as if you needed something else to shoot for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's always one more goal, obviously, but obviously the big goal is to repeat and defend the championship. But obviously, 25 holds a whole new story for us. So, we'll just put our nose back down to the grind and keep going and try to make improvements and stay consistent. And as Kirk and Ken both said, keep going rounds and gain those points and try to do it all over again.
Now, I know it doesn't hurt your feelings at all that one of the races on the schedule next year is going to be in Tulsa.
Oh no, that's awesome. That's 30 minutes from my back door. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's easy peasy trip there for me, for sure. Yeah. No, like I told Chris, I said, if we could ever get that deal done, I said, I think it'd be huge for the CHAOS series. I said, because Tulsa's so centrally located, and the fan base here that loves drag racing is just huge. And, of course, there's a lot of old school funny car guys around this part of the, country, especially here in, Oklahoma. Of course, you got Alberti, who's already going, but you got like Ron Dudley, and there's several other guys that, that were old fuel guys and stuff that were around the area. And I don't know if there's some of those guys that are still around that are still alive that were from the Oklahoma City area, but, there used to be several around this area. So I think it could be a huge turnout and be a great opportunity for the series in itself to help expand it and grow and make it a good deal for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good one. There's so many stories in the history of drag racing that have to do with Tulsa, whether it's the NHRA World Finals being there, whether it's the challenge, the national challenge, and of course they've had the Nitro Nationals for years. And so now to be able to add this, I just think it's going to be a good time and a good event. And, the people watching at that race is probably going to be excellent, because you might find yourself looking at somebody going, do you know who that is? There'll be a lot of those legends there.
Well, yeah, like I use the name Ron Dudley. I don't know if you know who he is or not.
Yeah.
He drove Moritz, and he drove for a long time, and you got guys like that, and they occasionally still come out there, for like the Nitro Nationals and stuff like that. So I think it'd be a really neat deal for Tulsa to have that. And I think I think it'll be huge for the series and the fan base that's in this area that likes drag racing. I think it's going to be a spectacular deal and be a huge turnout, and Tulsa has a pretty big capacity. So I think it's going to be a pretty packed house, honestly.
Man, that will be so much fun to be a part of, and we very much are looking forward to it. Well, for the first time I get to say it, congratulations, champ, on a job well done and a great season. And thank you very much for coming on and sharing some of that with us.
Well, I appreciate your time, and we look forward to 2025.
Man, you and me both. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, our 2024 Funny Car CHAOS champion. You heard it from him. He's looking forward to trying to defend that championship in 2025. And boy, that team is really going to be looking forward to exposure that's coming their way and carrying that championship very, very well. Thank you again, Shane. And for all of you out there on Chaos Nation, we'll take one more break and we're coming right back.
Appreciate it.
Driven Racing Oil's GP1 Nitro 70. Trusted by top engine builders, winning racers, and devoted horsepower enthusiasts across the world. Driven takes legendary base oils such as the ones from Brantford, Pennsylvania, which comprise our GP1 line. Then, we boost that superior base oil with state-of-the-art additive packages. Driven's GP1 Nitro 70 not only provides anti-wear protection, but can shield cylinders from washout and fuel dilution caused by methanol or nitro-based fuel. Learn more about Driven Racing Oil by following us on Facebook or Instagram at Driven Racing Oil, or shop now at drivenracingoil.com.
We are so blessed to be a part of such a great championship series as Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos. We've got the one more race left on our calendar in 2024, and then we'll start making preparations. Actually, preparations are already being made for 2025, and it is really going to be a season to look forward to. You know, when we go to the races and we get a chance to see our Chaos family, it's always great. And for those of you that were unable to make it to Mo-Kan and we didn't get to see you, trust me when I tell you that you were missed, and we really look forward to seeing you the next chance that we get, whether that's at Mid-State Dragway for the Nitro Chaos Championship Finals or at the Championship Banquet there at Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in the Tulsa area coming up in early 2025. Wherever it is, we look forward to it, and we appreciate all that you bring, because it matters to us extremely how important you are to the fellowship that we have. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Thanks to Darren Williams for coming on and producing tonight's program and helping us on the controls. And we will be announcing our next Chaos Live coming up soon. There's only two kinds of people in the world: people that love Funny Car Chaos and those who haven't been yet. If you haven't been yet, come join all of us that love it. Be kind, be well, be awesome. Good night. We'll see all of you later.
McKinney Motorsports is your #1 source for all your chassis needs. McKinney Motorsports is the leading chassis parts supplier and fabricator in nitro drag racing. From custom tanks and fittings, full chassis builds, body mounts, steering components, fasteners, tabs, clamps, composite parts, and much more. Our household name in the racing world guarantees added performance on the track. Join our list of proven winners that spans over 50 years of racing experience.